one girl was like, yeah, I don't like that guy because he acted some weird shit. Like she said some weird shit like the pissing and kicking him. And she was like, and the other girl was like, what you do? She's like, I didn't do it, I told him to leave. She said, bitch, next time you better give him to me. I come make $5 right
there. If there are men who will pay between $3,000 and $5,000 for you to take a shit on them or piss on them.
Yeah.
First of all, let's talk about all the many DMs that come from guys that ask for your worn underwear.
Yes.
Oh God. I never got that deal. Maybe because I don't remember.
I haven't gotten it, but my daughter has gotten a lot. Now on Facebook, I get a lot of the sugar daddy ones. One of these days, though, $5,000 might sound real good one day. I don't know. Just
you gotta eat a lot of food. Eat a lot of good food. So we gonna move right along, and we are going. Tayako is going to give us. How many tips do we have? We have 5 tips. 5 tips on how to introduce your sexual fantasies to your partner. So if you've been sitting there contemplating, like, how am I going to tell him that I want the banana to go right here, and then I want the syrup, and then I want my friend Shamika to come over, and then how am I going to get him to do it? How am I going to get him to do that?
I do have a fantasy of somebody throwing $1 billion on my naked.
We all got that fantasy.
I'm about to make it rain in here. Straight.
So Tayako, what are these 5 tips that you can help a man or a woman introduce their sexual fantasies to their partners?
Okay, so hello again, everyone. I'm Tayamo from Love Dash by Tayamo, and these are more of steps as opposed to just 5 different tips. And we kind of went over them a little bit earlier. The number one thing is, first of all, do you know what your fantasy is? And have you ever spoken about them with your partner? Not your girlfriend when y'all just chilling like, girl, I would, like how Lita just did, $1 million right on my naked body. Like, can you go and relate that same conversation to your partner? Do you feel comfortable enough to do it? So you have to start there. And then just know that if you feel shy or a little bit uncomfortable to have that conversation, that's normal. That's normal, but just do it, like Nike. And the way that you do it is, I'll use myself as an example. There was a particular toy that I wanted to try with my partner, and I brought it up one day. And it was a hard no. And I left it at that. And then weeks, maybe months later, so when I do my parties, I always call my partner on the ride home. 1, because I get sleepy when I drive, and then 2, because I be bored. And the conversation went like, and bring that toy when you come in. And I said, what? All right. And like 9 years. So it's one of those things, like, just because you bring it up once and it might not go well, like you might not get the reaction or the answer that you want, it may take more than one conversation, because just like you may have felt uncomfortable at first to even mention it, they might be caught off guard, like, what the fuck? So it may take more than one conversation. So you want to make sure that you mention it, have a discussion about it, see the reaction, and then, like I said, have a conversation about it. And depending on what it is, like you mentioned earlier, Michelle, your partner might not be ready. It might not be ready. It might not be anything that they ever thought of. Or, you know how sometimes we grow up, like we did the black and white thing earlier, the privilege, or just other people, your parents, your grandparents, whoever's raising you, you learn their morals, their values, what it's down to like the soap. Oh, everybody, we just grew up using Dove. Have you ever tried something other than Dove? I never thought about it. So it might be that kind of concept for that too. So keep that in mind. And then you want to make sure that you discuss your boundaries. Like, what's off the table? Like, I'm never having a threesome. I'm selfish. What's mine is mine. Have those discussions. And then one activity that you can try is make a list. It can include some of your fantasies. It can include some things that you're kind of like, maybe I'll do it. Who cares, right? And your partner can make their own list or make a copy of that same list, and then you both, in a separate room or separate couches, whatever, and circle what you're willing to give a try, and then swap or talk about it. So I feel like that's the easiest way to kind of introduce those conversations, and it can be even easier than that. When y'all watching those movies and they, the soft porn, if y'all watch 50 Shades of Grey, that ain't nothing. But whatever comes up, or let me tell you what my coworker told me today. Like it could be smooth conversations like that, and then you look like, let me see what they said, and that's an easy way of bringing it up. So it's not like necessarily your fantasy or something you want to do, but just to get their reaction.
Yeah.
Body language for sure. So some of the things I got from psychologytoday.com. One of the ideas was to put the different fantasies that you guys come up with that you are willing to try, put them in a jar, and then whenever it's time, sexy time, or like we gonna pull some out the jar. What we doing tonight? It's kind of corny, but you gotta start somewhere. So some of the things that they said were to watch porn together, read erotic fiction together, and I think that's big because you can. You can act out what you're reading. You can take turns reading, and that infliction when you're reading, right? Or you can just, kind of like step into that character as you're reading, and then you read like 3 lines, and then you're like, here, babe, like I'm ready. So I think reading to each other is a really good one.
And that seems like
it's very erotic.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like a real intimate moment. Like that's just gonna bring y'all, like y'all cuddle up in bed and y'all reading erotica to each other. Like that's some good foreplay.
Yeah, and foreplay is important.
Foreplay is very important, and it doesn't start in the bedroom. Foreplay starts in the bank account.
Yes.
This one says, kiss a member of the same sex. Have sex in a public place, try it. Or in a semi-public place, public transportation, for instance. Use a vibrator in front of your partner, so you're using it on yourself. That's kind of an easy one, but it is a little bit uncomfortable because your partner could be like, you don't be moaning like that when I'm up. It could be uncomfortable.
You gotta know how to act in those type of situations. No, I mean like if you gotta learn how to turn it down, the volume. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if that vibrator really giving it to you, calm down, girl. I feel like when you hold back anyway, that entices the end result.
It might be a turn on to your partner to watch you and hear you.
Mm-hmm.
So
there are men who pay other men to fuck their wives
In front of them.
Listen, there are people that will pay for a lot of different things, but that could be a tool that you're teaching your partner too, how to handle your body or the things that you like. So
yes.
Have your partner use a vibrator on you. You said something?
That's cuckolding. That's what that's called.
Cup holding?
Cuckolding.
Yeah.
Oh, coupling, yeah.
Cuckolding.
Stimulate your partner's anus with your fingers or mouth. Have your anus stimulated with fingers or mouth. Have anal sex. So that was just a few. I think those are the more mild, the more kind of beginner things that you
can. And guys and people, I think we all know this by now. The anal is the G spot.
Yeah, for everybody. For male and female.
Their prostate, that little taint area.
But they don't talk about that for the men though.
Yeah, because we put such a negative
we were talking about this up front. So one of the things that I make sure that I talk about at my parties is the prostate. We do offer toys for that. A lot of people are uncomfortable, and the stigma that I hear often is, exit only for the females, but if a guy wants that, oh, he gay. And that doesn't make a guy gay. What makes a guy gay is if he's attracted to another male, if he wants to be with another male physically. So their prostate, their taint area is a huge erogenous zone for them. So it's just like we have multiple, we want our nipples stimulated, we got our vagina area, we got our anal, we got our mouth. They have different areas that get them stimulated and they can get off too. So that's something that if you're uncomfortable with, you gotta get comfortable with if your partner's into it. Now, if your partner wanna put some panties on, that's a whole different story.
This is a no judgment zone though. Like, do you sell panties in case anybody wants to get some panties put on?
Some of the lingerie come with some thongs, some G-strings.
Yeah, no judgment zone. So, Tayamo, Mantis, if you had to suggest like 3 toys that are must-haves in the bedroom, what would they be?
You definitely want to make sure you have a clitoral vibrator. If you are male-female relationship, you want to make sure you have a toy for two, a couple's toy. So like that C-ring, those C-rings my man got earlier. And then just having like whatever other type of thing you want to experience. If you like anal, have an anal toy. If you like vaginal and clitoral stimulation, then have a dural action toy. You know, if you want a wand, so it goes from there. But make sure you have like a bullet, some type of clitoral, because you know sometimes they don't finish us off right. We gotta handle it on our own.
And if you check out our last week's episode, what we did with Tayamo, our episode was all about orgasms, everything that men and women need to know about orgasms. And one thing that I learned was that the hood,
the clitoral hood.
The clitoral hood like needs to come all the way out. It has to come out. And for me, I've experienced that, and I know what it is, but I didn't know what it was at the time. And it's for me, I call it the female blue balls. Like, cause this big, like, it gets big. It gets big. And if you ain't got that all the way out, then it's gonna be hard for you to get your partner. Yeah, like you won't have a clitoral orgasm, so you can get that bullet to help with it. Why are you so active in this conversation? Like this is my baby brother. Like he is so active in this conversation.
Because sex is important, I'm a freak ass nigga.
Yes.
The jar.
I feel like we as people, especially in our culture, we do need to normalize talking about sex.
Because my stepmom and my mother are very prude, and because it has.
Oh, my mom ain't prude with me. Me and my mama talk about everything. Listen, me and my mama talk so much about sex. He got mad. It was like, why are you telling your mama everything? So, like my learning experience, I feel like I lost my virginity so young. Not so young. I'm sorry, I didn't lose it so young. I waited to lose my virginity because a lot of my friends lost their virginity when they was like 12 years old, believe it or not. And for me, my mom sat me down and she showed me a book.
What the hell?
Yes, with the ladies. I don't know what type of relationship my other siblings had with my mom, but maybe because I was the firstborn. But yeah, I was the oldest, so she showed me a book with the ladies' legs open. It wasn't like a woman, but it was like a diaphragm of a woman, and it was legs, and it showed her whole body. And she showed me an orange, and then she poked a hole through the little piece of paper, and she said, "This is how it's gonna feel. It's gonna feel like this orange is going through that little hole in the paper." And I thought I wasn't ever gonna fucking have sex because I was fucking terrified. Like I was scared as hell to have fucking sex. Oprah Winfrey did a whole special. I was one of those kids that came home and turned on the television right after I got out of school. She did a whole special on women who were in their 30s who had never had sex because they were scared of the pain. You could probably Google it. It's probably on YouTube. There's a whole episode about that. I thought I was going to be one of them women.
I have friends like that.
And then puberty start happening, and then the cute little boys start whispering in your ear, and it's like pain, fucking pain. So, what we doing now? We doing our raffle. Does anybody want to share There's such
Anybody have a sexual fantasy they want to talk about?
Yes, because we have one more giveaway. Not you, Chris. If any of the ladies would like to share a sexual fantasy or ask Teyamo a question, this is your chance to win a gift.
I'm bisexual. Why don't I get a chance to talk?
No.
I represent both communities.
This giveaway is actually for the females. So do I have any females that would like to ask our special guest a question or would like to share their fantasies?
I am ready.
There was one hand waving.
Where?
One hand waving. Like 30
See,
seconds
I don't really
ago.
have no sexual fantasies. When sex comes to sex, everything is a go.
Oh, that's what's up.
Are y'all
Turned on real quick.
about to exchange numbers like the way he just said that? I was like, oh, I was slipping.
Gotta go with the flow.
Nobody wants to ask. Oh, God.
Come on, Michelle, start it off. It always takes one person.
You say yours.
Yeah, just ask him. Let him say it.
What do you want to say at this point?
What you want to say?
That's all fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My fantasy involves a nude beach where I'm with my partner and we're strolling and we both feel comfortable because we're naked, we're out there nude like black people supposed to be because black people, we didn't wear a lot of clothes in Africa, just keeping it real. We're exhibitionists, I think, naturally. So it's not even so much a sexual thing, it's just a freedom thing.
Yes,
So,
I hate clothes.
Thank you, seriously, I can walk around naked all day.
All day.
Quit.
All day. What is that?
Don't drive in my house.
I don't like clothes. I feel like I look better naked. I hate the way clothes make me look.
And because clothes add this kind of binding thing, but it also adds like this kind of thing like I'm covering up something about myself. There's something I'm not comfortable with, but when you get naked, honestly, like you're honest with yourself. And to me, it's just that. Just literally strolling on the beach with my partner naked. Nothing freaky. We're not doing anything sexual. We're just enjoying ourselves, being happy. Like seriously, like whether she's skinny, whether she's, like whatever level of big, just we're happy. Like whatever level I am, if I got a gut, if my pubic hair is just gray and like gnarly, like for real though, like we're comfortable with ourselves and we're just out there strolling and then we go back, bang like crazy. That's my fantasy.
Well, just so you know,
That's not bad already.
July is National Nude Recreation Month.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either, and one of my fantasies. Well, I don't know if you would consider that a fantasy, but one thing, because he even did research to find me nude beaches. That's one of the things that I want to experience is nude beach, and I just want to let y'all know because they might not know. I don't know why we got a different relationship than. I don't know, but my mom is when the kids are away in college, because all of us are out of the house, but the two youngest ones go away to college. When they are gone, my mom and my stepdad are naked, they said all the time. So, like, they had...
No, I want to hear that.
No! But listen, like, and the crazy part is they're 7 days in it. So they're like churchy people. So one day in church, the pastor asked, y'all have to, they was at a couple retreat thing for the couples. So listen, they love telling this story. So at the couple retreat, you're supposed to stand up and tell what you love about your partner and your relationship. My stepdad stands up and says, I love the fact that when the kids are gone, we walk around the house butt naked. My mom said all she could do was go like that. Like she said she was so embarrassed. And then the man on the other side of the church ran over and gave my stepdad a high five. So we get it from my mom. My mom says she hates wearing clothes
And I
too.
would have never known that.
Yeah.
Seriously, you can have guilt. You can have shame based around things that your parents never explained to you. It's part of your DNA. You have no idea why you feel this way, why you're attracted to somebody a certain way. And it's those conversations that maybe when you're older that we have to have.
Yeah. I don't know, y'all gotta pull them to the side and ask them why. But we gonna be about to do this raffle. We wrapping it up because we're going to be out of here.
Which one? The Patron?
Yeah, the Patron.
So this is the Patron giveaway.
She said something. Hold up. Didn't you say something?
This is the Patron giveaway. Nobody else want to add a ticket?
Does anybody else want to purchase the ticket? Tickets are $5 for one ticket.
I want something you said.
Yeah, but it's the cause you participated. It's the
I got these pairs already.
you got 2 pairs. Or maybe she'll let you train them in for a pair that you like. Another pair that you like.
That's what I got all the
She's not allowed to pick. Cause last time she picked and she won the raffle, so we not gonna let her. We gonna let just
Pick my ticket. Just pick my ticket.
I can't wait. I'm excited. I love when people win alcohol. All right. What song it has Patron in it? Ain't it a Fox? A Jamie Foxx and Fabulous. What song? I remember that song with Patron. Blame it on the alcohol. Ain't that
That's T-Pain.
Oh, that's T-Pain. But no. Anyway. All right. So the number is.
It ain't mine because they wrote on the bed.
With Kanye?
The number is 24 96 1
0.
1. Nobody want that?
They left.
24 96 1 1. 1 1. That's you?
Ticket.
That's that manifestation. I always say that.
You guys share that with me.
DJ, we got some winter music for. Yes, congratulations. I'm so happy you won. And she was the first to arrive. Thank you for supporting Sip and Discuss. Oh, thank you. And that brings us to the end of our show. We are going to do a special toast. What time is it?
It's time for us to wrap it up.
Oh, we out of here at 9 o'clock. Don't trip.
We gonna do a toast.
Yes, we are going to do a toast. Mingle, if you haven't already, please purchase
Support our
something.
vendors.
Our vendors. And tip our cocktail hosts. Thank you guys. I know it wasn't a big turnout, but I appreciate you guys for coming out, showing your face, and supporting Sip and Discuss. Remember, we are doing this once a month, live here at Drips. We go live every Thursday with different topics throughout the week. We do our celebrity drinking buddy. We are Sip and Discuss on all platforms. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Sip and Discuss, just the same way as it sounds. And if you brought that cup, then you also see it on there, Sip and Discuss. Thank you for the support. We are going to get some little glasses out and we're going to do a champagne toast and a cake cut. It's 1 year anniversary. And I want to say something good. Yes. So I just want to say one more thing. Like, I started out Sip and Discuss right after I moved into my new place. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it was a struggling time. But I got this vision from God, and He was just like, I want you to get people together to start talking about things. Just talking. And sometimes we have deep conversations and sometimes we have fun conversations. And the first one was, do black women know how to date? and I got like 5 or 7 women, and we came in my house, we drank, and we sipped. This, like, you can think your life is going one way, and then all of a sudden, I believe in surrendering to the higher power and just letting it go. So I kept doing them, and I would invite different people, and then some in my spirit was just like, bring Khalida.
I was on every episode.
Yeah, she was on every episode. And then I said, bring in my cousin, because he's been my ride or die. And it's important to surround yourself with people who don't question your dreams. That don't say, that sounds crazy, or we can't do that. Like, whatever I tell them, they just like, when, where, how, let's do this. And I just want to say thank you, because August I started and now we're here. And we're just going to keep getting bigger. I want to thank y'all for believing in me. I always tell people, like with me, you can buy me something and I will say thank you. But what matters to me the most is when somebody gives me their time. Because you cannot get time back. You can spend $500 on somebody and go out tomorrow and get that $500 back. You spend 30 minutes, an hour, 10 minutes with somebody, that's it. It's gone. You can't never get that back. So when somebody takes their time and wants to spend it with you, she has 2 children. He has a daughter. You know what I mean? They're taken away from their family to come and be a part of this. It's crazy because it's a year anniversary and I got you supporting me again. She supported me with the first one. And I got my sister supporting me again. And I got my man holding me down. So just thank you everyone for just being a part of Sip and Discuss. Follow us on all platforms. And it's been a year and it's going to be many, many, many more years. Thank you. And thank you to Drix for opening up and believing in us too.